So, as an expert analyst in cricket, why is the condition of Sri Lanka cricket this bad?
What I've been noticing in the few years recently is that we always associated very good batsmen coming out to Sri Lanka. Yes, you had the odd brilliant bowler, but the batting would always be strong. And in these past few years, after Sangakkara and Mahela, there hasn't been that next generation of batting which has carried them through. We've always, whenever we've grown up with the likes of such great players, you've got Arvinder De Silva, you've got Rana Tunga, the Mahanamas, and the Mendes and all those players. But now the development of batsmen, what I've seen as an outsider, what I've seen that the batting isn't coming through. All right, Murli was always your great bowler, but it was always built around that batting that would get you big runs, chase innings down, and especially in one-day cricket, you had this tactic where you would starve the opposition with your spinners, strangle them, but the batting would always come good. You had Jayasuriya, you had these players who would be very effective. In these past 5-6 years, the one thing that does stand out every time is that there's something going wrong in either the at the domestic level or something going wrong back in Sri Lanka, that you're not being able to produce those quality players which Sri Lanka had always produced.
According to your expert opinion, when did this starting to happen, and what could we have done better?
Look, I think Mahela and Sangakkara carried that batting through for quite a while. But with Mahela and Sangakkara, if anybody sort of asks me, you can't name a third batsman who was carrying that weight with them. So obviously that the problem started in that generation or just before that generation, because after Sangakkara and Mahela with their brilliant careers, they didn't have somebody else they could rely on. Samaravira did it for a little while, but I think either they dropped him too early, but saying that, you're still not producing those players. That the I don't know. You would have to again look back at your domestic cricket, the domestic structure, the culture there, and why sort of have a committee which looks into that. Why have you stopped producing those great players? Is it because of the pitches? Is it because something has changed there? Because if it's always a product of the environment, a batsman which you produce great batsmen, and obviously before that you were producing great batsmen, so the environment and all those things were functioning brilliantly. But I think for a number of years, because of these two greats, it sort of, the issue went into the background because the team was doing well only because of these two carrying the weight of the batting. And now that they've almost simultaneously gone, suddenly you look back where Sri Lanka can't be competitive because we've never associated great bowling. You've got Murli, you've got Vas, but you've never associated them with having an attack which would run through straight away. You'd always associated batsmen who would build the innings and set up the game, and that hasn't been happening. So you have to look deeper, and the problem probably lies deeper than what we are able to see in international cricket.
Yeah, finally, what do you think that Sri Lanka cricket needs to change now?
Well, again, I'm sort of repeating myself, but you have to look into your domestic structure. You have to look at what has changed over these past 10-15 years. Why the fact that there's not enough Sangakkaras or Mahelas or even sort of somebody like a Mahanama and players like that not being able to be produced. One-day cricket was, in essence, very strong, and Sri Lanka was so brilliant in one-day cricket because you had spinners, you had athletes in the field, but the batting to back it up. And if you go away from that, then it's very difficult because you're not producing those high-quality fast bowlers. I don't think Sri Lanka has sort of their strength has never been high quality fast bowlers, but their actual strength in actually being a fit side, a brilliant fielding side, and a decent bowling attack which would restrict the opposition, and then the batting doing the job. So again, I say that there's something that's gone wrong, in the domestic structure or the pitches or something of that nature. You have to look there, because that's where your strength was, and that's where you were producing all these great batsmen.
Thanks a lot, sir, for joining with UTV Tamil.
Thank you very much.